As a teacher, it's really important to be aware of the seasons of a school year and how those seasons can impact student behaviors. Well, the end of the year is one of those seasons that often causes misbehaviors to increase. So in today's video, I am sharing 4 behaviors you need to watch out for and have a plan for, or at least an idea of how to address it. Coming up next. Hey teacher friends, Michelle Holiday here. I am a behavior strategist and I help teachers, schools, districts, and youth-based organizations with strategies and systems that will help them manage their students and their learning settings with less stress and less struggle. And so in today's video, we're talking about the season of the end of the year and how increased behaviors often show up during this time of the year. Now, there are 4 misbehaviors that commonly increase during this time of the year, and I'm going to be sharing those with you as well as a few tips on how to manage them. Behavior number 1, talking. Surprised? You shouldn't be, right? Talking is a major behavior issue in most classes throughout the year, but a lot of times it increases at the end of the year, partly of the excitement of being home for a long period of time and the anxiety that comes from being away from structure, being at home, or being away from friends for a long period of time. The key tip here is to be proactive. Start to pay attention to the patterns of when the excessive talking tends to happen, like during transitions, first coming in the classroom, at the end of the lesson, those kind of things. One strategy that I have learned has worked really well with talking behavior is to begin to incorporate activities or lessons that allow students to talk. So for example, small group activities, project-based activities. So the talking is built into the activity. The key is to let students know they have to make progress or complete it at the end of the designated time. For more strategies on how to address unwanted student talking, I actually do have an on-demand workshop, and I'll leave it in the details below. Behavior number 2, fighting. I used to say this is more for secondary, but what I'm finding is that's for any grade level at any group at any time, right? And so, but there is an increase of fighting that happens for a variety of reasons in many school situations. And so the key with this is not that you are to jump into the fight and stop it, but what you can do is, again, look for the patterns. What I used to look for is an exchange of looks that were not pleasant or certain comments that were made that either the other student would react to or the class would react to kind of amp it up. And once I would see those things happen, I might do something where I send the student to another classroom. I might separate them to different parts of the classroom or have one of the students come sit next to me. Does this always work in terms of preventing fighting behavior? No, but for me, it has helped to decrease it or de-escalate it really quickly. Behavior number 3, difficulty concentrating. So that can look like zoning out, or that can look like being easily distracted by other things. This is something that also increases a lot during the season of the end of the year. 2 things I like to use for this particular behavior are timers, where I have the students try to beat the timer, or they have to work until the timer ends and then they get a break and then they work again. And also work blocks, where I allow them to have work blocks with breaks or brain breaks in between, so that they know if I can just press in and stay on task because I know there's a break coming at the end. That has been really helpful in motivating students who have that difficulty concentrating. And behavior number 4, restlessness. So this looks different sometimes in different grade levels. It's like that fidgety behavior, that antsy behavior that wasn't there a couple of months ago, but now is in full force during this time of the year. What has worked for me in many of my classes and what I teach is calming exercises. So that can actually look like physically having the students get up, take deep breaths, do an exercise, follow a video, and then sit down. And a lot of times this takes 3 minutes or less. Sometimes it's all about allowing students to listen to calming music during independent work, if it works for your classroom. Also allowing certain students to take mini breaks where they can do coloring or a word puzzle just to bring the restlessness down. One other thing that also works with restlessness is having activities that incorporate movement, getting them moving. Once again, the movement is built into the activity, and so that helps with the restlessness as well. So there you have it, 4 behaviors that you want to look out for that will likely increase at the end of the school year, as well as a couple of strategies of what you can do. I love to hear what kind of behaviors have increased for you during the end of the school year. Leave it in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.